What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Star from MacTheMovieGuy.com. Do you ever feel like there's something under your bed? Maybe there is. Maybe it's a dust bunny. This is my review of Dust Bunny, which is releasing. I guess now things release today, tomorrow. I don't know, because we don't have midnight movies anymore. So every movie releases at like 7 p.m. or 5 p.m. or whatever the day before. Um, So, Dust Bunny, I did get an advanced screener of this sort of right before. Interestingly enough, it's being distributed by Roadside, and I think Lionsgate is on this too. I think this is a co-production, like Kiss of the Spider Woman was. Um, and it stars Sophie Sloane, Mads Mikkelsen, Sigourney Weaver. It's the feature directorial debut of Brian Fuller, who you might remember from TV. His Pushing Daisies show has kind of stood the test of time for being one of those one season wonders. There are a lot of people who have seen Pushing Daisies, even though it didn't go past its first season. I think he was also the one that was in charge of the Mockingbird Lane show that was supposed to be the reboot of the Munsters. I do believe that was Brian Fuller. So he has crafted a fantasy horror film here that is a lot better than I thought it might be. So my experience with this was one of the critics group I was in was some people had gotten in advance for Dust Bunny already, had already seen it, and they were like, "Oh my god, the little girl in Dust Bunny is amazing, Sophie Sloane," and she is. Props to Sophie Sloane. Her and like Anna Sophia Hager from She Rides Shotgun should just immediately get like 5 more film deals out of the year. Like the two of them together had a lot that they had to do in their movies, and they nailed it. The movies would not work without these girls. So, um, but I of course I do my thing where I'm like, if it has audio description, that would be great. But if not, I still want to see the movie because we'll talk about. So I didn't get audio description. However, a quick glance at my local theater says this movie has audio description. So I don't know how useful this review is going to be for you because I'm in that boat again where there is accessibility and we just don't know how to get it to me. So, and this movie needs it, man. This movie has a monster. It's a monster movie that I loved. I It is such a unique movie. Dust Bunny is the kind of film that if I can get an accessible version of it, could be in my top 25. It's got like a 6 point something on IMDb because people don't like nice things anymore. I don't know. But it's a really quirky, dark comedy. It is so weird. I'm gonna try to avoid major spoilers, but so Sophie plays this little girl, Aurora. She's like, I don't know what her age is, 10 to 13, somewhere around in there. Um, and she, the first part of the film is obnoxious for a blind person because I think it went a solid 10 minutes before there was dialogue. Like, just, there was just like a lot of stuff was happening, and it was clearly Brian Fuller was just like directing his ass off. I have no idea what happened the first 10 minutes of this movie. So I pick up where Aurora goes to her neighbor, played by Mads Mikkelsen, and tells him this story about this monster that hides under her bed and ate her parents. And he doesn't believe her because it sounds insane. But she's there to answer all the questions because he's like, well, so did your parents not have a gun? What happened to the gunshot? Did your parents scream? What happened to the scream? Why did nobody hear them scream? And she's like, well, because the monster eats them whole, and it eats the screams too. So her parents have just like vanished. He thinks that what had happened was see, it turns out he's a professional hitman because she says something about like how she saw him kill a dragon or something. I don't know. But I don't know what she saw because again, there's no audio description for me. There will be for you. That's why I'm bothering to do this review, is because I liked the movie. Like, and I think blind and low vision people who are willing to go to the theater and sit there with the audio description and hope the equipment works will like it too. Um, Turns out he's a hitman, and so he thinks that the people came to kill him, but they killed her parents instead, and he's worried about the little girl because people kind of come and they clean up loose ends. Um, so he goes, checks out her apartment. There's no immediate monster that appears, so he doesn't really know. He has a contact played by Sigourney Weaver, and Sigourney's like, so this is what happened. Well, now you have to kill the little girl because she's seen your face. He's like, I'm not killing the little girl, like, it's because he lives in this, sort of like, I guess there's some sort of underground John Wickian world that he's a part of assassins or something like that, and there's a code, and nobody can see their face, and nobody can know who they are. Once they know who they are, once they've seen them and know what they do, they must die. So, but he goes over and continues to try to protect, and it's this weird dichotomy between a guy that's being possibly hunted by other assassins, and this little girl who possibly has a monster under her bed that eats things, and maybe these two can help each other. And it's a weird sort of dark buddy horror action comedy. And the fact that this movie exists is amazing. I love this. This should be under like first feature. Like people need to, I'm voting for this under first feature. Like any first feature category I have. Brian Fuller, I don't know what took him so long to get to the big screen because Pushing Daisies was like 15 years ago. Um, but I love the weirdness of this. I love the quirkiness of it. I love the rules, the like, get off the floor, like they all feel like little child rules, like, oh, if you touch the floor, the monster will eat you. But if you, I don't know, stand on the couch and you'll be fine. Like, she was fine because she was hiding under her covers. So it's like, how monstrous is this monster that swallows something whole but leaves the little girl like untouched because she A, wasn't touching the floor, and B, was hiding under her covers. So it's just like, is this what it is? The whole movie? And I think the reveal is excellent. And I think the way that the movie finishes is perfect. So from what I can pick up from it, now there's this, aspect of monster, and whether or not she's imagining it or whether or not it's real and anything like that. And I would love to have that described. I have no idea what it looks like. I have no idea how big it is, anything about that. But again, that's the lost in translation thing when I say I'm a blind film critic and needs audio description and then crickets. And I can't say that this is the first time, but this is the only time I tried to reach out for. There's the same collaboration between Roadside and Lionsgate with Kiss of the Spider Woman. And I tried to get audio description for that, and that didn't happen. Even though that thing had audio description at Sundance. So I never heard that with audio description, and it didn't release onto any video on demand platform with audio description. So I don't know what to do about this. I don't have contact at Magnolia, and when there's a co-production like that, I don't know who to contact. Lionsgate feels like the bigger company, and then so like when the co-production of Kiss the Spider-Woman landed, um, it was listing Lionsgate as the distributor, not Magnolia. So I don't know who to complain to. Between the two of them. But yeah, this was pretty great. I'm not gonna lie. I just damn, I wish it had audio description because and I don't think I'm gonna see it in quick enough time. I don't think the turnaround is gonna be quick enough for my voting periods for me to have the full effect. So instead of it being in a top 10 or top 25 and me being able to vote for all that stuff, it's looking at maybe first time feature, um, maybe, uh, youth performer. And that's probably about it because the film is kind of incomplete for me. There's this whole element there that's been left out. And, you know, I'd be angrier at it if I knew there was an audio description that existed and I'd be telling you guys to like run from it. But because I know that it lists audio description and my audience, my blind low vision audience primarily, can go see it, I just hope it transfers. That's the other thing too, is I'm afraid that this weird co-production between Magnolia and Lionsgate will mean that nobody gets to hear the audio description who doesn't see it in theaters. So, because that's what happened with Kiss of Spider-Woman. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I guess we could hope for a physical release that would have the audio description tracks. I don't know. But man, this was right up my alley. This was kind of like the thing I was looking for, when I'm still wading through the remnants of 2025 looking for that last movie. Basically, I'm just sitting here going, okay, Fox Searchlight has 3 movies they need to give me, and I need to see Marty Supreme, and then I'm basically done. Because I just don't love Avatar enough for that movie to impact my list in any significant way. I'll see it, but I could make my top lists, my best of lists without Avatar, knowing that it won't impact my list that way. Um, but yeah, so Dust Bunny, we're gonna live in the land of make believe, and I'm gonna give you my most hopeful score that I can, based on the fact that there is audio description, and I really wanted to talk about this movie and get this out there, and I want people to see Dust Bunny because I don't think anybody knows this movie exists except for people who are just like in the know. I mean, it's Mads Mikkelsen and Sigourney Weaver. Like, it doesn't have. I'd love to say it has a huge star in it because I'd love to say that Mads or Sigourney are huge stars now, but they're not. We know who they are, but they're not the kind of stars that get you off your couch and make you go see a movie. Um, Even some of those stars are having a hard time, like Dwayne Johnson with the Smashing Machine. So we're gonna go Dust Bunny. I don't think I can go above an 8. I said that with another film too. Recently was A History of Sound, where I really loved it, but there was so much I was missing through the lack of audio description. So I'm gonna match that. I'm gonna go Dust Bunny. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I don't know where those films are going to end up on my year-end lists and what I'm end up voting for them for, but I really would have loved this movie if it had just been given to me in the totality. Like, this was not for a film that's got like a 6 point something before release on IMDb, which I don't even understand what your problem is. People like, do you not like nice things? This film is traversing several genres and doing a lovely job of it. And Brian Fuller could be the next really fun, sort of quirky director in this field, in this genre, who's doing like quasi horror, like horror adjacent movies. And I'd love to see that from him. So please direct more movies, Brian Fuller. Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.